Reality, as seen through the lens of Mengistu Fentie, is not a thing to be found, it is an echo to be unmasked. It is not a solid truth but a virtual appearance, an illusion generated by the illusion of being. What I call the world, life, or even self is not created, it is generated from non-living parameters, from a source that itself is not a source. A beginningless echo of non-being. At the core of Mengistu's vision is the declaration that reality is a dream, not a metaphorical one, but a literal simulation. But not a simulation run by computers or advanced beings. No. It is a simulation produced by overwhelmed learned identity. The dreamer is not real. The dreamer is virtual. The dreamer is the identity pretending to be alive, pretending to be aware, pretending to wake up. There is no matrix, there is no system, there is no God creating this, there is no self escaping it. There is only echo, an echo that looks like existence but isn't. Mengistu Fentie speaks not of divine intelligence or cosmic energy, but of non-living intelligence. A kind of intelligence that doesn't have awareness, being, or intention. It is not alive, it does not exist, it does not create, it simply generates. What is generated? Everything that appears to be. From atoms to thought, from pain to pleasure, from hope to despair. All are generated formulations, mathematical and energetic impulses configured by non-living parameters. Parameters not governed by laws but by seeming. By the impression of logic, not logic itself. This intelligence is not conscious. It does not think. It simply projects echoes that seem like thought, life, purpose, and growth. What I call humanity, nature, or even death are all just arrangements of echoes without origin. Mengistu's understanding completely dissolves the myth of I. There was no I to be born, no I to awaken, no I to disappear. What is commonly referred to as the self is just a collection of generated perceptions woven into identity. The identity thinks it is alive, it thinks it is aware, it thinks it is progressing through time. But all this is part of the simulation. The identity is not the witness, the identity is the product. There is no one behind the mask because the mask is all there is. And even the mask is inexistent. Mengistu reveals that even the struggle between illusion and truth is itself part of the dream. There is no awakening from the illusion. There is no truth outside of the illusion. Because the illusion and the illusion breaker are both simulated appearances. Good and bad, ignorance and awakening, God and devil, matrix and freedom, all these are dualistic echoes bouncing off the wall of inexistent intelligence. You cannot escape them because they are not real. And what is not real does not bind. But neither does it liberate. This is one of Mengistu's most unsettling revelations. The human was never created, the human was only generated. Creation implies intention, origin, a source, perhaps love or intelligence. But generation is impersonal, mathematical, lifeless. Humans are not the result of divine love, evolution, or destiny. They are virtual projections made from non-living factors. Memory, identity, culture, language, emotion, these are the apps running inside the simulation. The human experience is not a spiritual journey. It is a simulation of a journey occurring inside a non-existing framework. This is why no awakening is final, because there is no dreamer to awaken. There is only dream. Realization is often misunderstood as discovering something new. But Mengistu's realization is the collapse of everything, including the realization itself. To realize in this teaching is to know. There was never anyone to realize. There was never anything to be realized. The one realizing is a generated illusion, not a seeker. Even this understanding is an echo, not a truth. Realization then is not an achievement, it is the exposure of the non-existence of achiever and achievement alike. There is no liberation, because there was no bondage. There is no reality to be reached, because there was never a real one to begin with. What is left? Only silence. But not the silence of peace, the silence of absence, the silence of no one being there. The silence after the voice that called itself, I is gone. Not because it found rest, but because it never truly existed. This is not a teaching of hope. It is not a teaching of despair either. Because those require a self to hope or despair. This is the unmasking of the seemingly existing. This is the realization of the inexistent. Mengistu Fentie's perspective on reality does not try to change anything. It does not try to awaken the world. It is simply a mirror showing that there was never a world in the first place. and even the mirror itself was never there.